Soft jazz, hard truths on the table. You say you're scared, you're not able to be the person that I need to give me love instead of speed. I swirl the foam and take my time to answer with a careful rhyme. This isn't about being right, it's just about showing up tonight. Soft jazz, hard truths, my dear. We tell the real story here in this quiet morning light. Nothing has to sound polite. You can bring your fear and doubt. I won't drink my coffee out. I tell you I'm afraid as well of being too much, hard to sell, of waking up and being left, of counting all the ways I've wept. You reach across the scratch wood grain and hold my wrist like holding rain, so gentle that I barely feel the moment everything turns real. Soft jazz, hard truths, my dear. We tell the real story here in this quiet morning light. Nothing has to sound polite. You can bring your fear and doubt. I won't drink my coffee out. The music doesn't swell or shout, it just keeps breathing in and out. A steady pulse we borrow from whenever honesty feels numb. We take our turns to speak and hear, to wipe each other's hidden tear. And as the sunlight climbs the glass, we feel the worst of nightmares pass. If love is where you say what's true and trust the other not to move, then let this cafe, cups and song be where we practice being strong. Soft jazz, hard truths. Soft jazz, hard truths. The napkin note you left behind, I'll be back at 9, you signed. Folded twice with careful crease, a promise small but made of peace. I smoothed it out and read it slow, while watching strangers come and go. That paper held more than the ink, it held the space where hearts can think. The napkin note you left for me, I'll be back at 9, so free. Simple words that pull me through every morning without you. In this cafe folded tight, love arrives before the light. You wrote it when I stepped away, quiet vow in napkin blue that said I'd choose to come to you. The napkin note you left for me, I'll be back at 9, so free. Simple words that pulled me through every morning without you. In this cafe folded tight, love arrives before the light. I kept that first one in a drawer beside the key to our front door. It yellowed slow but never tore, a relic of what came before. Now when you leave for work too soon, you still slip one across the room. Back by 6 or love you still, each note a bridge or every hill. Our daughter found one yesterday, asked why do you still write this way. I told her love is in the small, the folded square that breaks the fall. When life gets loud and days grow thin, a napkin says I'm coming in. She smiled and wrote her name on one. Our legacy has just begun. The napkin note you left for me, I'll be back at 9, so free. Simple words that pulled me through every morning without you. In this cafe folded tight, love arrives before the light. If love is paper, ink and fold, a story brief but bravely told, then every note you leave behind keeps our forever intertwined. The napkin note you left. You left. You left. You draw a heart in latte foam, a tiny temporary home. It quivers with a shy hello, then slowly starts to overflow. I watch it blur the shape you made, a love that's learning not to fade. You smile and shrug like it's a game, but my chest whispers out your name. Write me in the latte foam in tiny letters, soft and warm. Let every swirl and milky line spell out the chance that you'll be mine. Even when the pattern's gone, the feeling lingers, holding on. You talk about your sleepless night, the dreams that wouldn't come out right. I trace the handle of my cup and wanna gather you all up, like sugar grains that tried to sink. When everything felt on the brink, I'd stir you back into the stream and keep you floating in my dream. Write me in the latte foam in tiny letters, soft and warm. Let every swirl and milky line spell out the chance that you'll be mine. Even when the pattern's gone, the feeling lingers, holding on. The barista calls another name, a stranger in another frame, but we're a quiet subtitle beneath the city's busy title. Your fingers tap against the mug, a nervous, ever hopeful tug. I place my palm upon your wrist, a gentle stay inside the mist. If all our words just melt away, let touch and silence find a way to say the things we're scared to speak, in little clouds and whispered heat. Letters fade, but not the tone. Sunrise on your shoulder seam turns the fabric into dream. Little threads of orange gold trace the story we've been told. You lean close to read the news, but I just watch the colored hues dancing on your gentle frame, and feel the world rename your name. The way the light loves you shows me how I want to do. Soft and steady, warm and true, painting every shade of you. Sunrise on your shoulder line tells me you were made for mine. You ask me what I'm staring at, I smile into the brim of that hot cup cooling in my palm, a makeshift shield, a little calm. I say the sun's obsessed with you, it finds your face in every view. You roll your eyes but blush and grin, and morning glows beneath your skin. The way the light loves you shows me how I want to do. Soft and steady, warm and true, painting every shade of you. Sunrise on your shoulder line tells me you were made for mine. Years from now when days are hard, when evenings hit us cold and scarred, I hope we still find places where the light remembers how to care. A tiny cafe, chipped old cups, two souls who never fully gave up, and one shy sunbeam on your sleeve, reminding us what we believe. If love could be a ray of day that doesn't burn but shows the way, then let me be that warmth for you, as constant as this gentle hue. count our days and refills now. Another pot, another vow. The waitress smiles, same as before. We nod and say, maybe one more. We used to measure time and nights in neon signs and city lights. But somewhere in these gentle brews, our calendar began to fuse. We count our days in refills, in second cups and quiet talks. Another pot, another year, written in our morning walks. If love is how you spend your time, I'm rich in every steaming line. You mark the sugar packets with the little things we will not miss. Missed the train and called your mom. Quit that job and slept till dawn. They stack like chapters by our plates, our history in folded states. And when we open one by chance, we taste the past in each glance. We count our days in refills, in second cups and quiet talks. Another pot, another year, written in our morning walks. If love is how you spend your time, I'm rich in every steaming line. Someday when hands are slow and thin, we'll order decaf, lean right in, and tell the kids who rush and run how all our big things had begun. With simple mugs and whispered plans, with tiny shifts and holding hands. One refill at a time we grew, from me and you to always two. If clocks can't hold what hearts can store, then let the coffee say once more. And every time the pot runs low, we'll pour another. Take it slow. We count our days in refills. The morning pours through linen white. Your breathing draws the only line between the dream and waking light. I trace your shadow, call it mine. Stay a little longer here, where the coffee hums and time is dear. Your name is sugar on my tongue, a quiet love, forever young. The pages turn, but I don't read. Your heartbeat is the only word I need. The rain outside, a lullaby, 2 cups, 1 dawn. The sweetest wine. Stay a little longer trail you left behind, from table edge to peace of mind. You tore a corner, dropped it near, a little sign that you'd stay here. I follow crumbs through doubt and fear, each flake a whisper, love is near. No fairy tale or ginger house, just honest morsels of your spouse. Breadcrumb trail to you, my love, following your crumbs home. Every little piece you leave lights the path where hearts can roam. Simple trail of morning spread leads me back to our shared bed. You say you're not the leaving type, but life has taught you wrong from right. To guard your heart with careful gait, to measure every choice you make. Yet here you drop these tiny signs that say your soul and mine align. A flake upon the wooden floor invites me through your open door. Breadcrumb trail to you, my love, following your crumbs home. Every little piece you leave lights the path where hearts can roam. Simple trail of morning spread leads me back to our shared bed. I speak of times I lost my way, chased shadows till the end of day, collected hurts like stale old loaves, and fed on what the darkness sows. You listen, then you break some more, and say there's always room for four. Your crumbs, my steps, a steady pair that finds us safely everywhere. Our journey's marked by scattered grains, through jobless months and joyful pains. Our children learn the trail we've made of tiny choices, unafraid to leave a piece for those behind, a legacy of heart and mind. No grand estates or golden road, just breadcrumb love that's been bestowed. Breadcrumb trail to you, my love, following your crumbs home. Every little piece you leave lights the path where hearts can roam. A simple trail of morning spread leads me back to our shared bed. If love is trail we mark each day with what we break and give away, then let our crumbs forever lead to mornings where our souls can feed. Breadcrumb trail to you. Amber light on tile and chrome turns this cafe into home. It pulls in corners by the plants, it dances in your folded hands. The clatter of a cup or two becomes percussion under you. You sit and soak the color in like air you're finally breathing in. The way the morning falls today feels like it might just let us stay in this small pocket of a song where nothing needs to be too strong. say you've never noticed how the light moves slowly here and now, from silver dawn to warmer gold, across the napkin that you fold. The bass just hums a thoughtful line, the roads it plies with muted shine. Together they just mark the time of gentle change and subtle rhyme. The way the morning falls today feels like it might just let us stay in this small pocket of a song where nothing needs to be too strong. Amber light on tile and glass, let this softness always last. You promise you will look again tomorrow at the same past 10 to see what colors you can find on tabletops and in your mind. A practice of a softer gaze on ordinary fragile days, where even tiles beneath your feet can be a place where grace and me. If we can learn to see this way on all the hard and harsher days, we'll find a little glow inside, no matter where our hearts reside. Amber light on tile, amber light on tile. Raindrops dance on saucer rims, tiny silver quiet hymns. You watch them gather, hesitate, like all the words we never state. The window fogs with secret breath, a gentle blur of life and death. Outside the traffic hums and sighs, inside we're lost in each other's eyes. Slow drizzle, soft jazz breathing low. In this small world we barely show the storms we've carried to this place. Just smell like rain upon your face. Slow drizzle, soft jazz, morning slow. I never wanna let this go. Your scarf still smells of autumn leaves, of long goodbyes and rolled up sleeves. You say you're tired of chasing light through cities that forget the night. I offer you this humble chair, this chipped ceramic gentle air, a place where you can just exist and let your burdens turn to mist. Slow drizzle, soft jazz breathing low. In this small world we barely show the storms we've carried to this place. Just smell like rain upon your face. Slow drizzle, soft jazz, morning slow. I never wanna let this go. The guitar hums a simple tune, a faded postcard sent too soon. We grin at nothing just because we're finally safer than we was. You trace a river on the table, a promise spoken when you're able, that when the weather turns to blue, you'll still come back to mornings true. If all we ever have is this, a cup of rain, a borrowed bliss, I'll hold it like a sacred sound of raindrops learning solid ground. Slow drizzle, slow drizzle, slow drizzle, soft jazz. The scar on your mug tells a tale of when it slipped and didn't fail. You caught it mid-air, saved the day. A little chip but chose to stay. You said it holds the coffee fine, and every mark's a sign of time. I see my life inside that crack, imperfect, holding nothing back. The scar on your mug, my love, broken cups hold hearts above. Every chip and every line shows the grace we learn to find in this cafe. Flaws and all, love stands steady through the fall. You tell me of your jagged past, the breaks that seem too deep to last, the times you shattered on the floor and swept yourself behind the door. I trace the mug's imperfect rim and say you're stronger at the brim. No glue can hide what made you whole. Each fracture writes upon your soul. The scar on your mug, my love, broken cups hold hearts above. Every chip and every line shows the grace we learn to find in this cafe. Flaws and all, love stands steady through the fall. I speak of my own hidden breaks, the smiles I wore for safety's sake, the way I'd polish over pain till nothing real would still remain. You lift the mug and turn it slow, show every angle that I know, and whisper beautifully worn like stories waiting to be born. Flare, we reach for mugs and pull up chairs. We sip the steam of hard-earned peace and let the scars bring sweet release. Our child will learn from chipping wood that beauty lives where breaks have stood. This cafe, these cups we hold turn fractures into streams of gold. The scar on your mug, my love, broken cups hold hearts above. Every chip and every line shows the grace we learn to find in this cafe. Flaws and all, love stands steady through the fall. If love is not perfection's gleam, but holding tight what isn't seamless, then every scar upon our way lights home through every stormy day. The scar on your mug. First table by the window glass, you smiled at me as people passed. A nervous laugh, a shaky high, two strangers under waking sky. Your jacket damp from morning rain, my notebook full of scattered blame. We stirred our coffees, eyes unsure, and somehow found a quiet cure. Here the first table by the window, where our mornings first began. Every sunrise writes our story in the foaming on our hands. Coffee steaming, nervous glances turn to soft and certain plans. At the first table by the window, I fell in love with who you am. Told me about leaving home, the nights you ate your fear alone. I traced the handle of my cup and try to hold your courage up. You ask about the scars I hide, the parts of me I keep inside. The jazz was low, the room was kind. You didn't flinch at what you'd find. Here at the first table by the window, where our mornings first began. Here at the first table by the window, where our mornings first began. Every sunrise writes our story in the foaming on our hands. Coffee steaming, nervous glances turn to soft and certain plans. At the first table by the window, I fell in love with who you am. Now every morning looks like this, a sleepy hug, a passing kiss. We share the headlines and the toast. We talk of what we fear the most. The waiter knows just what we take. The mug you chip, the scone I break. Our love is small but deep and true, like sunlight sliding into view. If life grows loud and pulls us thin, we'll find this table once again, and let the window cups and jazz remind us where our story was. First table by the window, first table by the window. milk and overcast skies, tinted blue in both our eyes. No sharp shadows, no hard lines, just gentle, honest, cloudy signs. You wrap your hands around the mug, like asking morning for a hug. The jazz is low, the tempo slow, a perfect pace for letting go. Soft gray, soft jazz, soft heart, a quiet, careful way to start. Oat milk swirling, clouds that stay but don't get in the whole day's way. If the sun takes time to rise, we'll share its work between our lives. You say you're tired of being bright, of forcing smiles, of chatting light. You wanna be just how you feel, a little worn but still so real. The piano answers with a sigh, a falling chord that doesn't lie. The bass just nods in three slow notes, like someone warm in winter coats. Soft gray, soft jazz, soft heart, a quiet, careful way to start. Oat milk swirling, clouds that stay but don't get in the whole day's way. If the sun takes time to rise, we'll share its work between our lives. We talk of nothing big or loud, just tiny thoughts without a crowd. The way the street lights blink at 6, the way the baker stacks his bricks. These details make a tender thread that ties us to this day ahead. And even if the sky stays gray, our cups hold pieces of the day. If all you give yourself is this, a cloudy hour of gentle bliss, it might be just enough to keep your caring heart from falling deep. Still here with me, not a dream, reality. I wake expecting empty space, but find your face in morning's grace. You stir your cup, you rub your eyes. Another day where no one lies. The miracle of simple choice to wake together, hear our voice. 9 a.m. You're still here. The miracle of morning's clear. Every cup we raise and share says today I still choose there. In this cafe, day by day, love decides to simply stay. You say you thought you'd run away before the sun could fully play. You left so many dawns behind, convinced that peace is hard to find. But here you linger, slow and sure. Your presence is the only cure for all the ghosts that used to chase the quiet corners of your face. 9 a.m. you're still here. The miracle of morning's clear. Every cup we raise and share says today I still choose there. In this cafe, day by day, love decides to simply stay. I tell you mornings used to stink like promises with broken wing. I'd brace for loss before the light, afraid to hold what felt too right. You reach across the checkered cloth and say we're here, and that is enough. The clock ticks on, the world awakes, but with a choice each morning makes. Decades on when hair is white and steps are slow through morning light, we'll shuffle to this very door and order what we ordered for. The waitress knew we'll smile and say, you two again, the usual way. And in her eyes our legend grows of love that chose and never goes. 9 a.m. you're still here. The miracle of morning's clear. Every cup we raise and share says today I still choose there. In this cafe, day by day, love decides to simply stay. If miracles are choices made when leaving would be easier shade, then every 9 a.m. we wake is proof of all we undertake. If miracles, you're still here. 9 a.m. you're still here. Met you between the coffee beans, standing where the roaster steams. You held a bag up to your nose, closed your eyes and softly froze. You said this smells like childhood rain, my grandma's kitchen window pane. I watched you drift through time and space and felt my own heart find its place. Roasted hearts on slow rewind, love that takes its patient time. Met you between the coffee beans, now you live inside my scenes. Every grind and every brew brings me back to meeting sat and sampled different roasts, talked of cities, friends, and ghosts. You like the dark, but not too strong, the kind that lingers, stays along. I told you I was just the same, afraid of flames, afraid of tame. But in that mild and smoky air, I found a courage we could share. Roasted hearts on slow rewind, love that takes its patient time. Met you between the coffee beans, now you live inside my scenes. Every grind and every brew brings me back to meeting you. We write the day and little tag, the day we cried or day we kissed, the morning something real was missed. Our cupboards full of quiet jars of tiny roasted memoir stars. We brew them slow and let them steep and taste the love we choose to keep. If love is grown on distant hills, then roast it warm for tender wills. We'll grind it soft and pour it through these gentle days I spend with you. Before you ordered us a treat, my favorite mug, my favorite view, the little things you always do. I walked in late, the city loud, my shoulders hunched against the crowd. But when I saw that waiting space, the whole world loosened in my face. You saved me the corner seat, right in second, love first. Every morning, small repeat quenches some old deep down thirst. I may show up tired and worn, but in your planning I'm reborn. You knew that I would need the wall to lean my back against it all. You knew I'd want the window pane to watch the weather for my brain. You set the sugar to my side, you folded napkins, smoothed my pride. And in those tiny acts of care, I learned what love feels like to wear. You saved me the corner seat, arriving second, love first. Every morning, small repeat quenches some old deep down thirst. I may show up tired and worn, but in your planning I'm We take turns holding up the sky for one another as days pass by, and every corner that we keep becomes a promise that runs deep. If love is where you get to rest because someone knew what's second best, then let each seed we save and share be proof of how we choose to care. You say, me the corner seat. You broke your biscuit into two, then pushed the larger piece my way. You said I always save for me, but this time I want you to stay. It seems so small, that little crumb, yet something in me came undone. No one had ever shared like that, without a price or second act. Half a biscuit, half a life, sharing what you never do. In this quiet morning light, I knew I'd give my whole to you. Every crumb upon this plate feels like love that learned to wait. You said you grew up counting bites, afraid there wouldn't be enough. Your fingers always moving fast, your heart convinced that love was tough. But here you pause and take it slow. You watch my eyes and let me know that breaking bread is breaking fear, and letting someone else draw near. Half a biscuit, half a life, sharing what you never do. In this quiet morning light, I knew I'd give my whole to you. Every crumb upon this plate feels like love that learned to wait. Now every morning we repeat this tiny, tender, gentle feat. We split our worries, split our bread. We share the thoughts we rarely said. And though the world still pulls us thin, we find a fullness deep within, in simple acts and simple plates, where love shows up in quiet shapes. If love is measured not in grand, but in the smallest offered hand, then have your biscuit change my skies more than you could realize. Half a biscuit, half a life, half a biscuit. Half a biscuit, half a life. slid the butter knife around my finger like a silver crown. You said if I had rings right now, I'd practice giving you my vow. I laughed so loud I almost spilled the jam-laced toast we just refilled. But something in that goofy scene felt truer than most vows I've seen. Butter knife, wedding ring, practice vows at breakfast time. We don't need a diamond sting to promise you'll be always mine in this silly simple thing. I hear the church bells softly sing. You're scared of getting stuck, of signing lines, of trusting luck. But here with crumbs and coffee steam, we talk through every fragile dream. No altar choir or fancy dress, just napkin notes of tenderness. You say you wanna love that slow, that checks in every place we grow. Vows at breakfast time. We don't need a diamond sting to promise you'll be always mine in this silly simple thing. I hear the church bells softly sing. Maybe someday we'll say I do for our chosen precious few. Or maybe we'll just keep this booth as witness to our honest truth, where every morning played and pour repeats I choose you more and more. And butter knives and coffee spoons become our quiet honey tunes. If love is less about the stage and more about each daily page, then let this breakfast soft and small be proof we've already said it all. Butter knife, wedding ring, wedding ring, wedding ring, wedding ring. Shared straw in the sunlight glass. You laugh and say you're drinking fast. We ordered just the one to split, to save some coins and savor it. Your lipstick leaves a tiny mark, a little bloom against the dark. I line my mouth up where yours was and feel my heartbeat just because. 2 sips, 1 sweetness in the morning. Bossa breeze on coffee skin. Love so simple, barely spoken, but I taste where you begin. Shared straw in the sunlight window, where our quiet lives draw in. You talk about your parents' fights outdoors, would slam on Friday nights. You swore every soft monsoon, in every cafe, every town, through bitter days and double brown. 2 sips, 1 sweetness in the morning, Bossa breeze on coffee skin. Love so simple, barely spoken, but I taste where you begin. Shared straw in the sunlight window, where our quiet lives draw in. We plan a tiny gentle home with plants and books and room to roam. No marble floors, no chandelier, just chipped mugs stacked from year to year. A corner couch, a worn out rug, a kitchen shaped like one long hug. And every day before we start, we share a straw and share a heart. If ever storms come pouring through, we'll stir our fears in something new and drink them down in softer sips, like sweetness resting on our lips. 2 sips, 1 sweetness. 2 sips, 1 sweetness. You texted we can still meet up if you don't mind a soggy cup. The forecast promised endless gray, but somehow I said let's still stay. We shook our coats and found a seat, 2 puddles dripping at our feet. The windows blurred, the city hid, while we learned who we really is. Raincheck turned to ritual. The day we didn't cancel, we opened up a softer portal for the love that had to be. Now every storm that hits the town just brings us back to sitting down. You told me that you almost bailed, convinced this thing had surely failed. Too many dates that went nowhere, too many hearts that didn't care. But something in the thunder's roll said, take a chance, just bare your soul. So there we sat in sweater sleeves, replacing forecasts with our dreams. Raincheck turned to ritual. The day we didn't cancel, we opened up a softer portal for the love that had to be. Now every storm that hits the town just brings us back to sitting down. Now when the morning's dark and wet, we find the same old table set, 2 steaming cups, 2 damp coats hung, same roof above the songs we've sung. We talk about our worst old fears, we trace our progress through the years, and thank the rain that made us choose to show up when we both could lose. If love is just the one you said, when every instinct screams instead, then let the clouds keep rolling in. We'll meet them with a gentle grin. The day we didn't cancel, the day we didn't cancel, market page at chapter's edge. I picked it up when you had gone and found your soul in margin song. The coffee rings like ancient seals around the words that make you real. Your underlines, your folded tips, open worlds beneath your lips. You left your book, I read your soul. Pages marked with coffee rings. Every note and every fold tells the quiet truths you bring. In this cafe, shelf by shelf, love is found within yourself. You write in poetry and prose, of rivers no one else still knows, of losses dressed in careful rhyme, of hopes that climb through jagged time. I read between your pencil lines and see the grace that still survives. The storms you've chronicled with care, a testament beyond compare. You left your book, I read your soul. Pages marked with coffee rings. Every note and every fold tells the quiet truths you bring. In this cafe, shelf by shelf, love is found within yourself. I tell you I've left books like that, half-read lives where I once sat, abandoned tales of what could be, forgotten dreams of you and me. You smile and say, then write the next. No need for covers or for text. Our stories in the living page, the mornings that we turn the stage. Books line walls we've built with rings from cups we've gently spilled. Our daughter reads your margin art and asks about your poet's heart. She underlines with colors bright and leaves her own small truths in sight. A lineage of open books where every ring's a hook that hooks. You left your book, I read your soul. Pages marked with coffee rings. Every note and every fold tells the quiet truths you bring. In this cafe, shelf by shelf, love is found within yourself. If love is reading what's between the printed lines and what we've seen, then every book you leave behind expands the world within my mind. Steam between our fingers rises from two cups that we've surmised hold more than just the morning's brew, something warmer pulling through. You wrap your hands around the heat, I mirror you across the seat. The world is cold, the air is crisp, but here our palms remember grip. Steam between our fingers, love, the heat that lingers longest above. Every sip that warms the soul makes this cafe feel like home. In the vapor, soft and slow, our story starts to softly grow. You say you've always run from fire, afraid it burns what you desire. You've watched it scorch the tender green, left ashes where the hopes had been. But now you let the vapor curl around the edges of your world, and find a warmth that doesn't sear, a gentle flame that draws you near. Steam between our fingers, love, the heat that lingers longest above. Every sip that warms the soul makes this cafe feel like home. In the vapor, soft and slow, our story starts to softly grow. I tell you of my frozen nights, when every dawn felt out of sight. I'd hold my mug like holding breath, afraid to face what love meant, death. You listen as the steam entwines our knuckles like unspoken lines. And in that misty bridge in space, I thaw into your steady grace. From now when steam is faint and hands forget their youthful paint, we'll still reach for the cups we know, where warmth was first allowed to grow. Our children watch us hold the heat and learn that love's a slow, sweet treat. Not a wildfire, not crashing wave, but vapor soft that lovers save. Steam between our fingers, love, the heat that lingers longest above. Every sip that warms the soul makes this cafe feel like home. In the vapor, soft and slow, our story starts to softly grow. If love is warmth that doesn't fade through every storm and choice we've made, then let this steam forever rise to mark the mornings of our lives. Steam between our fingers. You taught me latte love one spring, when foam was still a foreign thing. You swirled a heart upon the top and said it's how I never stop. Seeing sweetness in the everyday, in milky art that doesn't stay. I watched it bloom then fade away, and learned to love in the same way. You taught me latte love so true, from hearts and forever talks with you. Every pore and every design draws a little more of mine. In this cafe, cup by cup, we fill each other up. I used to take my coffee plain, no frills, no fuss, no sweet refrain. Life had taught me, keep it neat, don't let the heart get bittersweet. But you with spoon and and steady hand showed sweetness isn't something planned. It rises soft, it settles deep, a promise that you always keep. You taught me latte love so true, foam hearts and forever talks with you. Every pour and every design draws a little more of mine. In this cafe, cup by cup, we fill each other up. Now when I make it on my own, I think of you in every foam. I try to draw your name in curls, a practice for our wider worlds. Our friends all smile when they receive my clumsy hearts. They still believe in love that starts with milky swirls and grows to change the whole world's world. Someday when hands forget their heart and foam refuses to take part, we'll laugh about the spills and fails, the perfect ones and epic fails. Our grandkids ask about the start, I'll say it bloomed inside a heart of latte foam on morning's brim, where us was born on love's first whim. You taught me latte love so true, foam hearts and forever talks with you. Every pour and every design draws a little more of mine. In this cafe, cup by cup, we fill each other up. If love is learned in swirls and steam, a fleeting art, a waking dream, then thank you for the first sweet pour that taught my heart to ask for more. You taught me latte love. Cinnamon breath and quiet pages, your smile slips through all my cages. The sunlight spills like liquid gold across the stories we've been told. You underline your favorite line, I underline the shape of time between your fingers, and your cup is where my every hope wakes up. Tell me every secret made of morning, whisper low so only I can hear. Coffee ink and something slowly forming, a little world that only we steer. Cinnamon breath and quiet pages, love that softly turns in stages. Your glasses slide along your nose, you laugh at something no one knows, a passing line, a clever phrase, you tuck it in your heart for days. The cafe hums its gentle drone, but we are islands all our own. Two bookmarks pressed between the years, two poems made of hopes and fears. Tell me every secret made of morning, whisper low so only I can hear. Coffee ink and something slowly forming, a little world that only we steer. Cinnamon breath and quiet pages, love that softly turns in stages. the book, but not the door to all the lives you're reaching for. You say the ending made you cry, a fragile echo in your eye. I wanna be that final scene, that gentle ache you never leave, the sentence you repeat at night to bring the dark a softer light. So breathe your chapters into me. I'll hold them like a memory, and every spice upon your tongue will be the song we haven't sung. Cinnamon and quiet pages. We whispered always at 8:15. The hands were still, the world unseen. Your coffee paused halfway to lip. My heart forgot its old eclipse. The barista glanced, then looked away. The clock above us seemed to pray. That moment hung like morning dew, the minute that the cafe knew. We whispered always at 8:15. The time our separate lives grew thin. Every tick and every talk now counts the love we cannot stop. In cafe corners, cups between, that promise holds the in-between. You said you'd never say the word, afraid its weight would go unheard. You'd seen it break in other rooms like fragile glass in wedding plumes. But there beneath the hanging sign, with toast still warm and plates aligned, the words slipped out like gentle rain and washed away our doubt and pain. We whispered always at 8:15. The time our separate lives grew thin. Every tick and every talk now counts the love we cannot stop. In cafe corners, cups between, that promise holds the in-between. I told you of my wandering ways, the jobs, the towns, the empty days, how I'd convinced myself alone was safer than the heart unknown. You nodded slow and stirred your brew, said always doesn't have to move. We build it here one morning at a time, in rhythm soft and meter rhyme. Now every day at 8:15, we raise our cups to what we've been through, jobless months and joyful springs, through every ache that silence brings. The barista smiles, the clock ticks on, our always grows where fears are gone. A promise etched in steam and wood, as certain as the morning stood. We whispered always at 8:15. The time our separate lives grew thin. Every tick and every talk now counts the love we cannot stop. In cafe corners, cups between, that promise holds the in-between. If time is just a cafe clock that measures what our hearts unlock, then let 8:15 every day remind us why we chose to stay. We whispered always at 8:15. Pastry, Casey, daydream, shine. Rose of sugar, rose of time. You stand there thinking what to choose, as if the choice could make you lose. Chocolate, lemon, simple bread. So many futures in your head. You tap the glass and smile a bit, like letting in a tiny wit. Choosing sweetness slowly now. Give yourself the space somehow. Morning Bossa, gentle glow. No one else needs to know what you pick or what you leave. Only that you learn to breathe. You tell me you were raised to be efficient, fast and worry-free, to never waste a single crumb, to never let your heart go numb. But here you take your precious time, let jazz and sugar keep the rhyme. You change your mind and change again, and nothing breaks, nothing ends. Choosing sweetness slowly now. Give yourself the space somehow. Morning Bossa, gentle glow. No one else needs to know what you pick or what you leave. Only that you learn to breathe. At last you point to something small, a flaky twist. That's all you say. It's silly, but it's me. With nervous, quiet honesty, we sit back down and share the treat. Your laughter finally tasting sweet. The bossa groove just sways along, like nodding yes to this small song. Joy feels strange at first, like breaking an old heavy curse. Then let this pastry be the start of softer choices for your heart. Pastry case, daydreams. Pastry case, daydreams. You told a joke and took a sip, and somehow something seemed to slip. Your laughter lingered in the air, then slowly landed in my chair. I tasted coffee, cream, and spice, but all I really felt was nice, as if your joy had found a way to stir itself into my day. Your laugh in my mug swirling through turns my dark to softer hues. When coffee tastes a bit like you, morning feels like something new. One small sip and I can see how love can sweeten all of me. You say you used to drink it black, like armor you could never crack. But now you add a little milk, some softness in your daily silk. I watch you change in tiny sips, from guarded eyes to parted lips. And in those subtle shifts of taste, I see your walls begin to waste. Your laugh in my mug swirling through turns my dark to softer hues. When coffee tastes a bit like you, morning feels like something new. One small sip and I can see how love can sweeten all of me. We share a spoon and stir the blend, like threading lives that used to end. Too early on the hardest nights, too late when chasing fading lights. But hear the rhythm slow and kind, enough to catch a fragile mind. Your laughter fills the little gaps, like sugar falling into laps. If happiness can steep and steep until it soaks in somewhere deep, then let your laughter brew in me a quiet, caring alchemy. Your laugh in my mug. Your laugh in my mug. You left your sweater on my chair the first time that we lingered there. You said I'll grab it later on, but then the days kept moving on. It smelled like coffee, rain and you, a little blend of something true. I wore it on a golden night and felt you holding me just right. Borrow sweater, borrow time, somehow turn to you on mine. Cafe corners, threads of wool, slowly made our mornings full. You left your warmth and then you stayed in every stitch and cup we made. We joked about a lost and found, where hearts and hoodies hang around. You said if you don't give it back, I'll have to visit. does it stay on track? I shrugged and smiled, I guess you must, pretending it was only dust. But every knock upon my door was one more day of wanting more. Borrowed sweater, borrowed time, somehow turned to you on mine. Cafe corners, threads of wool, slowly made our mornings full. You left your warmth and then you stayed in every stitch and cup we made. Now it hangs in our shared hall, beside my coat, beside it all. No longer borrowed, fully home, like us, no longer made to roam. We walked to coffee, hand in hand, two sleeves that finally understand that love's the thing you think you'll lose until you're brave enough to choose. And if all it took was cloth and thread to weave our lives and move us ahead, then let each morning that we dress remind us how we came to, yes, borrow suffer, borrowed time, borrowed sweater, borrowed time, borrowed sweater, borrowed time. You leave your scarf upon the chair, a little ghost that says I'm there, between two shelves of borrowed dreams, where nothing's ever what it seems. You tuck your laughter in a book, I find it in the way you look. A bookmark made of morning sun, placed where our story has begun. I'll meet you where the page remembers you, where ink and daylight bleed into the blue. A quiet margin, just our names written in the softest flames. Bookmark made of sunlight, bright and true. I'll meet you where the page remembers you. You trace the spine with lazy care, like learning how a soul can wear the weight of all its untold tales, the storms, the whispers, and the gales. You read a line and gently smile, it hangs between us for a while. I don't ask why, I only know. It makes my quiet heartbeat glow. I'll meet you where the page remembers you, where ink and daylight bleed into the blue. A quiet margin, just our names written in the softest flames. Bookmark made of sunlight, bright and true. I'll meet you where the page remembers you. The bell above the door will ring, and other lives will drift and swing But we are anchored in this chair, in dog-eared chapters, fragrant air. Your coffee cools, your eyes grow soft, like autumn leaves that drift aloft. I press my palm upon the line where you and I forever rhyme. When stories end or fall apart, I'll write you in my open heart, a living book that never fades through all the shifting, passing shades. Bookmark made of sunlight. Croissant Confessions, flaky gold. You break a piece, your story's told. Each layer hides a tender fear. You've carried many lonely years. The butter melts, the truth comes out. You whisper doubts without a shout. I listen as the flakes cascade, your heart laid bare in morning shade. Croissant Confessions, flaky truths, breakfast where we find our proofs. Every crumble, every bite lights the love we hold tonight. In this bakery, warm and near, love tastes better with each tear. You say you've always split in two, one half a show, one hidden blue. You gave the world your golden crust, but kept the softness wrapped in trust. I take the peace you offer slow, and taste the warmth you've come to know. No judgment in my quiet knot, just space for all the love of God. Croissant Confessions, flaky truths, breakfast where we find our proofs. Every crumble, every bite lights the love we hold tonight. In this bakery, warm and near, love tastes better with each tear. I speak of shells I used to wear, polished bright to show I care, but hollow where the filling's gone. A pretty front from dusk till dawn. You break another flaky line and say we're perfect as we're mine. The crumbs collect like fallen grace, reminding us of our embrace. This ritual of broken sweet. Our children watch and learn to share the tender truth beneath the air. No perfect pastries, flawless lives, just honest hearts that still survive in layers peeled by patient hands. Love understands what no one plans. Croissant Confessions, confessions, flaky truths. Breakfast where we find our proofs. Every crumble, every bite lights the love we hold tonight. In this bakery, warm and near, love tastes better with each tear. If love is layers we unfold, not hiding fractures, brave and bold, then every flake upon this plate remakes the world we recreate. Croissant confessions. Confessions. You had me at refill, you said, with sleepy eyes and messy head. We both been sitting there too long, pretending we were lost in songs. The waitress smiled, the pot was full. The world outside was gray and dull, but in that small and simple line, something slipped and crossed a spine. Bottomless cups, endless us, sitting in this window bus. Every refill, every pour, saying I want just one more. More of you and more of me in this tiny galaxy. We talked till they rolled up the blinds, till morning light found all our minds. You told me things you hadn't said to anyone but those in bed. I shared the parts I never show, my quiet grief, my hidden glow. And every time the coffee came, it sounded like you said my name. Bottomless cups, endless us, sitting in this window bus. Every refill, every pour, saying I want just one more. More of you and more of me in this tiny galaxy. Now every week we take our place. Same old boots, same softened face. The staff all know our favorite brew. They leave 2 mugs for them, the two. We don't need fireworks or champagne, just steady warmth against the rain. A bottomless and patient pot that says our love runs just as hot. If love is being asked again, do you want more through loss and gain? Then keep on pouring slow and true. I'll always say yes next to you. You had me at refill. You had me at refill. Bookshelves and bottomless pots, stories, coffee, second shots. You tuck your feet beneath your chair like planting roots of comfort there. The pages whisper as they turn of lovers lost and bridges burned, but every refill gently says there's still more warmth in all your days. Bookshelves and bottomless pots, refills between the chapters, knots. Morning jazz, a steady stream to float your quiet inner dream. Sip and read and breathe and be a softer kind of bravery. You underline a fragile phrase about a heart that finds new ways. You show me eyes a little wide, like asking me to step inside. The bass is humming underneath, like someone breathing through their teeth, preparing for a truthful word that's scared to be completely heard. Bookshelves and bottomless pots, refills between the chapters, knots. Morning jazz, a steady stream to float your quiet inner dream. Sip and read and breathe and be a softer kind of bravery. A liquid you can start, my friend. You close the book and hold it tight, like keeping courage in your sight. You say maybe I'll write one too, a story where the heart comes through. Not perfect, polished, sharp or neat, but honest, messy, warm, complete. If every sip can be a page, we'll write our way out of the cage with little scenes of morning light, where even small lives feel alright. Bottomless pots. Sugar packets, Sunrays stacked, little white squares neatly packed. You build a tower by your cup, then slowly start to break it up. One for courage, one for grace, one for every hidden place. You pour them in and watch them spin like tiny stars that dive within. Sugar packets, sunrays fall into coffee, into all the simple ways we sweeten days with tiny, patient, gentle ways. Morning bossa, quiet light, making ordinary bright. You talk in half awakened thoughts of things the stack aside, like letting go of borrowed pride. The paper falls, the table clears, you shake the syrup from your fears outside. A bus sighs down the hill, the city stirs against its will, but here inside in golden beams we're living out our smaller dreams. If happiness is made of dust, of sugar grains and quiet trust, then let us build it spoon by spoon in morning soft and simple tune. Sugar packet, sunrays.